Hello YouTube, today we have a slightly different content. This is a Gigabyte. I'm not exactly sure what the model is, but this board came in for the jack replacement. I took off the motherboard, I took off the connector. It had the pin missing right here in the back. I will show it to you in a second under the microscope. And the board looks amazing right here. But when I flip it over, right there, it makes a shortage to the ground. So when we're trying to, so even if I put a new connector in place, it will give me a 0 right there. Oh, here. I know your comments. Old voltmeters, but they do work amazing. Here, 0 right there. So we're gonna calibrate it. You see, 0. It gives me a short at this pin. So if I put a brand new connector here, it will be shorting to the ground. All right. And the boards like that, tiny boards like that for this Gigabyte, not sure exactly what the model is, I'll put it someplace in the title, are nowhere to be found. So I need to come up with something else. And the way I come up with something else is we need to probably bypass this plus area, which is shorting right here. So I need to lift up this trace. And once I lift up the trace, hopefully there's not going to be a contact between here and the rest of the trace, because this is a positive trace. Even though it says plus right here, it's not a plus. It's probably a place for a screw to go in. Screw right here, screw right there. All right. So the goal is to cut this area right here and see if you can remove the shortage, because right now this is the positive pins right there and this is the negative pins right here. And we got a short between them. And doesn't matter what I do here, we're still gonna have a short. All right. And nothing I can do here because it's already burned through. Let me show you a bit close up. You know what, I will show you under the microscope. So this is just not the best situation. All right, so let's see if I can just cut this area off and maybe bypass the shortage altogether. So for that, I tried to contact the client for the last few days, but there was no response. So I assume the client is busy, so I just have to go ahead and try and fix it like that. I was just like asking the client, should I just send it back to you because it's already shorted, or what? And the client did not respond. So I'm just gonna try to do the best I can, because I'm pretty sure they're not gonna be able to find the motherboard. I couldn't find the board like that anywhere. So here what we're gonna do, we're gonna lift up this trace right here. And it's too deep, I think. Let's see. Yeah, the trace is really deep. That's not exactly what I was hoping to do. Yeah, not the trace won't lift up. Okay. So I can probably just cut through the trace, isolating the positive from the negative. I'm cutting into the motherboard. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can remove that part of the trace. All right, let's see right now, do we still have a shortage? We're still gonna have the shortage on the pin, right? Come on. Here. Let's do this, the safest. Yeah, we still have a shortage. But let's see, let's continue. What I'm trying to isolate the positive end. Unless there's a positive end on the other side as well. But let's see, I'm trying to get underneath here, under the trace. Okay. How about now? Still have a short. How come? I think I isolated the plus. Is it a plus on the top as well? I wonder. Maybe I need to cut it all the way through. Let's see. Okay, so removing the whole trace completely pretty much off of the board. So technically, there shouldn't be anything going to the positive end. Still we have a shortage. Strange, really strange. It can be that something here is going anywhere else. Well, let's remove all of this from here. Yeah, the trace is totally removed. It shouldn't be conducting anything to the positive end right here. I don't know. Maybe there is something I'm not seeing here. There isn't trace up here. Oh, all right. So it could be that the whole top is a trace for the ground, for the positive. Is that a positive here? Let's see. This is a positive. No, that's not the, well, hard to say. Who designed stuff like that? Seriously. To change the batteries in that one. Let's say clearly the guy doesn't know what he's doing, right? Yeah, I wouldn't. The positive is this end right here, right? Positive and negative right there. I'm not sure how this positive that's isolated is coming down. I was thinking this is the only way to. I mean, it can be shorting here someplace, right? I mean, unless you see this thing is positioned in a way so that I don't know what to do here. That's the question. What to do? How else can I bypass this thing right here? I'm not sure. Let's cut these guys all together probably. That's not gonna make a difference, seriously. No, I was thinking maybe there is a little trace here that still conducts it through on the border. Let's see it like that. Like that. Is it conductive or it's not conductive? That's the question. Okay, let's take a look. All right, let's move to the microscope and see what we can see under the microscope. All right, so you can see this hole right here. That's where the shortage was taking place. Right here. And that's the reason we have a short. This is ground, this is ground, this is ground going to here. Right? This is the plus, 1, 2, 3, 4 pluses, 4 minuses. This is what I was able to remove right here, the entire trace. So nothing should be conducting here. This is not conductive, right? Like you see, I even went into the walls and saw that. Let's see. And this is clear. This is a plus right here, right? That I removed. It's going to here. Could it be here? Or here? No, I mean everything's removed. Burnt right here. But I don't see how it's connected to here in any way anymore. All right, let's do something else. Still have a shortage. Yeah, but where? I mean, how does this connect to this? Like, only through the bottom, that's my understanding, right? Or am I wrong? I mean, it's not like it's on two sides. Yeah, let's remove all of that stuff. See, maybe that's gonna help. Right, the reason I'm making this video is so that you would not, you would know where the shortage is at and how to fix it, possibly. So you see, I'm totally isolated the positive. This is the positive going through. I don't see any connection to the negative here. So technically this and this should not be shorting at this time. Right? Right. In theory. But not in theory. In practice. Yeah, in practice still shorting. Shorting here. Everything is shorting, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. Alright, I don't have the rest of the board slash cable. So probably the best thing would be to... Well, you know what, we can still do something here. Hold on. Let's see. Alright, let's try and take this connector off the motherboard. See how it's gonna go. Reading some flux. We're gonna add some Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm adding some leaded base solder to mix with the unleaded base solder. I do want to remove the connector without damaging the connector, but that's probably gonna be mission impossible because it's a plastic connector. The solder is pretty good. Right, so what I want to do is I want to stabilize it in place. And I don't want it to melt. That's the key. And getting it not to melt is really tough job. So let's see if we can take it off or not. Right, you know what? I think this is not gonna work simply because I'm gonna melt down the connector. So in order for me to not melt down the connector, I need to flip it like that. Flip it like that. And heat up the motherboard from the top. And maybe that way the connector will be saved. Maybe, maybe not. Not sure. All right, so the connector is off. I need to make sure it's cooling down. All right, so this is a plus right here, minus right here. And I don't understand how come this is coming from the bottom of the motherboard, right? Why is this shorting to this when I remove this trace right here? Maybe somebody knows something that I don't know. This trace has been removed, so this is where the short was at. This has been removed, all right? All the area around here is pretty much as clean as a whistle. So plus is only from here to here, right? Yeah. And how come is so those are the pins where it's going through here. And how come this is still shorting to this? Let's see if it's still shorting. Yeah, still shorting. Yeah, so everything is still shorting. So what I'm gonna do, can I just cut this trace here? Isolate this area, connect the connector to this area only, not connect to this area. Connect this plus and this minus, and then run the wire from here to here. Is that possible? Probably. So let's cut this thing. Because I don't see any other. All right. I think I cut too deep. Well, let's see now. Yeah, so I was able to isolate it right here. Okay. Let's try and I need to cut a little bit more just in case. Okay. All right, so this plus from this, so this ground from this plus is quite far away. So that's a good thing. And we have this isolated right now. Yeah, I overdone on this hole right here. Shouldn't be like that. So yeah, all of this is shorting right here, all of it, except this four. Those four are gonna be running my my current to the rest of the motherboard. Okay. The connector is still intact. The connector is still good. Okay, good job. So I need to mask up this stuff right here. And we should be golden. Let's clean up all of this stuff. All right, so the goal is don't waste your time on this stuff right here because it's still gonna be shorting someplace somewhere. Go figure where. Hard to say. Somebody can direct me directly to what did I miss. Right, so what I'm doing now, I'm cleaning everything up. And I'm gonna be drying everything as well. We're ready. I need to find out where my ultraviolet light is at. Everything's falling around. Much stuff in the exhaust chamber. Too much, too much, too much. No, 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 that's too much. Ay, 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 ay. Let's close it down. All right, so that's way too much. Way too much. I needed to use the syringe for it. I'm not even sure if it's gonna cure. Because it's just way too much. Yeah, it's too much. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna cure. Okay, so what I wanna do is I'm probably gonna keep some. Like that. Okay. Now I need to get my anti-UV glasses and cure this thing. All right. Looks like let's see if it's cured enough. Nope, it didn't. All right, let's do a few more runs. Can I put it something like that? I can put it on top of it. Anyways, let's go here. It needs a lot more UV curing. Anyways, I will let it dry out right now, then I will do another UV run, and another UV run. Obviously, not to waste your time. I think a few more treatments of UV, and it's gonna be all right. Perfect. Well, again, where it's too much, but here is nice and dry. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I will try to attach the connector back to the motherboard like that. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some tape in between here, so just in case, so it wouldn't be shorting anything to those guys here. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to tape, I did something like that. Now we're gonna put the connector on top. And solder things up here. Alrighty. Not exactly the most beautiful way to do it. But again, I didn't get a response from the client. I'm not sure if I should have just sent it back to unfixed. But usually I'm the last resort. By the time something gets to me, people are just like giving up on it and they just want stuff to work. All right, I see that the connector slightly moved. Like that. Like that. Like, why is it so dark in here? Because I'm still in the glasses. Still wearing the glasses. Ah, come on. Nothing is soldering to the motherboard? Why, what's the big deal? I know everything is a bit at an angle, but it's no big deal, honestly. Yeah, I didn't know I would be doing something like that today. Right, you see, the connector is in perfect shape. That blackness is just a tape. That looks good. It looks nice and sturdy. All right, so let me just double check that nothing is shorting here. Yeah, so we got nothing shorting right now. Okay, all good. All right, so what I have done, I found this type of connector right here. It's also 2.5 by 5.5 millimeter in diameter. It's gonna fit the motherboard just fine. And the goal is to solder it here and run the wire from here to here. All right. All right, so I'm just making sure it's not gonna be touching the motherboard anywhere. All right, and I just wanna put some tape on top just in case. Just in case. All right, so this is the connection I'm doing here right now. All right. All right, people obviously don't know that it says text only. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, looks good. So now I'm just gonna solder it here, solder it on the bottom. Looks good. Looks amazing. All right, so what I wanna do next is I wanna penetrate this entire copper line with solder. That way it's gonna be there forever. Beautiful. All right, let's solder the sides. Okay. And let's redo the top. Beautiful, beautiful. Yep. Excellent. Good job. I don't wanna. I made a mistake of putting too much ISP here on top of the mask that I just put. All right, looks something like that. Let's dry it out. Excellent. Excellent. Right. One tiny project took such a long time to get done. Wow. Wow. I don't get paid for that. All right, let's see. So you see, we still have a short here, right? But the short between the pluses and the minuses are not there. So this is all good right here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm gonna put some insulation. Let's see if the pins are nicely. Okay, so the plus conducts, the minus conducts. We all set here. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry the video turned out to be so long, but now you know what to do in case you're someplace in India and there is no way you're going to be able to get this board anywhere else. I mean, there is a few other ways to do it, but I don't have the cable for the socket here. But I mean, if the client wants this to work, it's gonna work fine. Another thing is I might put some glue underneath the connector, but I'm not 100% sure yet if I want to do so because it's holding pretty well. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.